Welcome back to Movie Reviews. Today I will show you an action mystery scientific film from 2015 titled Self Slashless. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Damien Hale, a successful businessman and a billionaire, is looking through large glasses in windows in the skyscraper apartment in NYC. Behind him, a nurse is getting ready to leave in a picking up her tools. The billionaire has terminal cancer and barely 6 months left to live. Later, during lunch with his best friend Martin, they discuss his illness and how he still hasn't told his daughter Claire about it. Damien doesn't have a good relationship with Claire because he was a workaholic while she was growing up and didn't spend enough time with her. Martin thinks that if Claire knows about the illness, she will forgive him and they will quickly make amends. Before Damien Martin waits, the billionaire asks his friends whether he heard shedding, and Martin says no. While in the luminous, Martin tries to call Claire, but she doesn't answer. Then he pulls a business card of a company named Phoenix Biogenetic and remembers the conversation he had with the company owner, Dr. Albright. The doctor's primary mission is life is to offer humanity greatest mind a way to extend her life and fulfill their full potential. He has created a device that can transport consciousness from one body to another, a process known as shedding. The company provides new body genetically engineered to profession to everyone willing to pay big money for them. Damien remembers how he asked the doctor why the service was still illegal. Albright states that he asked the wrong question. The right question would be, do you feel immortal? After going through these memories and wondering whether to ask Albright offer, Damien goes to see Claire, who's running a non-profit organization, wanting to make things right before dying. He gives his daughter money but doesn't tell her about the illness. She refuses to take the money because she thinks he's manipulating her expectation, his checkbook to solve every problem. Later, Damien is sitting in the office, disappointing with how things turn out with Claire. Desperate to have another chance at life, he continues to research shedding and Phoenix biogenetic. He discovers that the procedure was invented by Dr. Jensen and watches a video of him explaining the philosophy behind it. Jensen wanted to free the mind from the body and allow people to live even after the body dies. But Damien is researching shedding. He started coughing blood and faints. The illness is starting to consume him, so when he wakes up with the breathing tubes attached to his nose, he decides to call Albright and schedule the procedure. Albright explains how after the switch he can't control anybody and that his whole life won't exist. He also instructs him to come to New Orleans and publicly fake his death. The next day, Damien on a plane calls Martin asking if they can have lunch in New Orleans. Before meeting him, he goes to the New Orleans graveyard and buried a mystery box near one graveyard. At lunch with Martin, Damien fakes a seizure and falls on the floor. Martin gets scared and calls 911, but instead of going to the hospital, the ambulance vehicle takes the billionaire to the Phoenix Biogenetic. They quickly started the procedure to inject Damien with a needle and put him in a machine. Fully conscious, the strong lights and the loud sound make him even more uncomfortable, but his perception is quickly transferred into the new young body. When Damien turns his head, he sees his old body unconscious and dead. Shocking and disgusted, he throws up. Albright tells him that it was to take a new day to adapt while Damien starts hallucinating. Objects starts morphing and he sees a picture of a field with horse. The doctor then sarcastically says that death has side effects. Damien now has to stay in the hospital and go through training and physical therapy to get used to his new body. Since he can't go to his new life, Damien also has to learn a fake biography and used a name as Edward Kinner. After a brief phase of confusion and desperation, he started liking his new handsome self, but hallucinating and headaches don't go away. Albright tells him that his mind hasn't got used to new neural structure. So he gives his pill and that will help the transition. If Damien doesn't take them, he might die or have severe migraines and hallucinations. Also, he might stay in New Orleans to meet his Albright regularly and get the weekly pill supply. After Damien completes the training, he dropped a large, beautiful house in New Orleans that is now his. Damien, aka Edward, is quickly adapting and sooner that later starts playing basketball in the neighborhood. Then he meets the Anton while living right next to him and offers him to take out the same night they go to the club and every woman is staring at Damien, who who is now handsome young man, but he still isn't using answering questions about his life, job, age, so people thinks he is little weird. Despite this, Damien get into a new routine much sooner than expected. He started hanging out with the friends, playing basketball, sleeping with beautiful women, and gets pills, clubbing, simply enjoying life. After a while, new routine doesn't satisfy him, especially since he can't see his daughter. Distracted by his happiness, one he forgets to take this pill and soon after hallucinating. He sees flashback of the army images of a small town with pumpkin tower. Since the hallucination is too vivid and strong, Damien thinks it's memory. Later he describes that he was Dr. Albright who insists just a mixture of the old memories and his current emotions. As a way to draw his attention to something else, the doctor gives him tickets to Hawaii and doubles his medications. He also tells him that he was a sick little girl because he misses Claire and that the Latina woman of the hallucination is probably some one night stand from his youth. But Damien didn't tell Albright that woman was Latina, so he immediately starts suspecting the doctor. He knows something is wrong, so later tries to find the pumpkin tower online. Turns out the exact tower is some town in St. Louis. Looking for answers, he is decided to trick Albrights and go to the St. Louis instead of Hawaii. Before leaving, he goes to the graveyard and digs up the some boxes he buried. In it, there's some money, documents, credit card, so he takes some of heads towards the airport. One of the Albright's men follows him, but Damien quickly escapes his sights and catches a flight to the hometown. A few hours later, he arrives right at the pumpkin's tower he saw before. Next to the tower, he notices the house and knocks to the door, but there's nobody there. Sensing there more that people the eye, Damien dies to enter the property and inside sees medical bills, parts of respiratory machine. Most importantly, he sees a picture of Madeline and Anna, the mother and the doctor from his hallucination. He also sees this new cells in one of the picture. Turns out the body wasn't genetically engineered, but was an actual person with a life. He dealing with the uncomfortable truth. Madeline returns home and going, pointing a gun at him from the behind. He tells her to calm down and slowly turn towards her. She falls on the floor, crying in disbelief because she thought her husband was dead. As she tries to explain, Albert's men come into the house, knocking out Madeline and try to kidnap Damien. On his whole time, Anton explains that Madeline's husband Mark agreed to give the body of the money that would cover his daughter treatment. Damien is shocked and confronts Anton explain why Albert is murdered. The spy they given a cold-hearted metaphor telling him that it's normal to be upset because he bought a new car and just found out the car has a few miles on it. Also, even though he is angry, he is no point in coming back to the house since they will assassinate Madeline and burn their property. Luckily, the billionaire has strong moral compass to decides to trick Albert's man and save Madeline. He pretends to take his pills, so he goes to the bathroom and attach one of them there. With the help of the Mark's army, instance he killed a
Damien
few
kills
of
everyone and runs toward the car with Mark's wife. Damien.
Anton and the other try to burn the property down, but Madeline and Damien go under the platform and start shooting them in the legs. Soon after, Damien kills everyone and runs towards the car with Mark's wife. Damien lies to her, pretends to her husband, saying he agreed to do some dirty works to pay the Anna's medicine. Both of them head off to save Anna, who is at school. Anna also thinks Damien is her dad, so he runs towards him and hugs him, yelling that he knows he was dead. Later, the three of them books a stay at the motel where Damien used to computer to find about more Phoenix biogenetic. He discovers that the Albright was a student of the Jensen, also finds the address of Phillips, Dr. Jensen's wife. Because he doesn't pay any bills, he gets a migraine and starts hallucinating again. Madeline gets worried, but Damien knows what to do. He decides to visit Phillips and learn more about the company. The next morning, they take the car and go to the nursery home where Jensen's wife is staying. He poses a student that does doing research about Jenkins' work and asks Phillips to give him doctor's old paper and documents. The old man has Alzheimer, so he believes Damien and starts telling him all sorts of information. He finds about the Albright visit he every week, so he quickly figure out the Jensens is using Albert's body. He asked Phillips to call Albert and invite him to come. When the doctor arrives, Damien points a gun at him, demanding more pills. But Albert tells him a better truth. The more pills he takes, the more Mark disappears. along with the fighting skill army training. Without the pills, Damien's mind will fall into oblivion and Mark will take over the body. Damien they kidnaps Albright and demands they take him to the lab. But as they start working through the hallway, Albright men attacks and disarm him. As they are taking Damien to dark vehicle, Madeline arrives and hits all one of the Albright's men. Turn out it was an entrance in a new body. It's not his first shedding, and that's he was quickly adapted to a new vessel. Damien fights over the other guards, but before the young people run out and Anton wants Madeline, the Damien is hiding something and tells her to ask his mother about the daughter's birthday. When Damien's Madeline gets into the car, the concerned mother insists they pull over. As soon as the court is clear, she wants to get something straight, especially about the interaction with Anton. She asks Damien about the Anna's birthday and other details about their life together. When he can't give an answer, he starts explaining the situation while Anna observes. They fight from the car, wondering where everyone is okay. Madeline gets very agitated, angry because Damien manipulated her and because she has disappointed her daughter. She doesn't want to explain to Anna the man who look exactly like her father is in fact a stranger. But Albright's men want to kill her too. So he even doesn't like or truth. Damien has to work with him survive. The billionaire thinks of a plan to ask her Martin and place Anna and Madeline in a safe location. When they arrive at the friend's mansion, Damien convinces Martin of the truth by describing details only the two of them know. Martin then arrives to keep and organize this escape. Later, Damien tries to figure out the explain to little Anna she never going to see her father again, but he starts bonding with building new beautiful father-daughter memories. He teaches her how to swim and they have a great time together with Madeline observes. When from the window, happy. Since he is in her husband's body, she feels attached to Damien, so he asks to listen his heart and kisses him. Damien feels uncomfortable, and so he started telling her about his previous life in order to shift her attention from Mark. He opens up about his relationship with Claire and they have a honest heart to heart conversation. But suddenly Damien notices that all the mirrors in the house are covered. He knows that Martin's son died 2 years ago and quickly starts suspecting that something is wrong. He runs and tries to find Anna where a large kid room playing with a little boy. Damien immediately figure out the brought his child Phoenix biogenetic as well as gave him a new body. Turns out Martin ratted to the Albright and that killer was waiting outside to kill him. But Damien confronts his friends and tells him that little kid's body is not created in a lab. It was in a real person and someone else's child. Martin is shocked and disgusted, so he decided to help them in it for real. He takes Madeline and Anna to a safe location on foot through a forest while Damien drives off in a car as a bait. Soon after, he gets into a car chase with Albright's men who are typing to capture and kill him. After soon and crashing their cars into each other, all of them gets into a massive car accident. Damien gets out of the car and makes sure everybody is dead before going to the dinner, where he's supposed to meet Madeline and Martin. However, Martin is only one who arrives. He explains to Damien how Madeline and Anna got ahead him into the forest. They asked for help from a mystery car on the road. Little did they know it's Albert's men, so they kidnapped Martins could do anything because they were far away. Damien also learns Martin planted that business card for the Phoenix Biogenetics as way as to help him. Most importantly, he discovered the Martin cracked formula for Albert's pills and they can engineer them for scratch. But Damien starts wondering why he should continue to the take pills, especially since that the way he killing Mark. He puts off the decision until later since now his priority is to save Madeline and Anna. The plan is to stay off the pills for 12 hours, hoping to use Mark's memory to find more information about the lab's location.